Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Jake Monroe, your host. Like last time, still here. Today we're gonna be getting into emos because it's been a while since I delved into this subculture on TikTok. I feel like emos and TikTok go together like things that go together. We're gonna get into this. I'm gonna see what it looks like now on TikTok because as we know, subcultures through TikTok are not actually accurate. TikTok has a way of destroying the integrity of subcultures. It's weird. It's like by creating a TikTok based on the subculture, it's now ruined. I don't know what it is, why it's doing that, but anything that's actually decent, authentic, anything that's actually good is not going to be on here. Sexy girl, we got the black neck, dude. We got the black neck. I regret immensely ever doing that. I just thought it was kind of cool. And then like years later, nowadays, these days, there's like so many alternative kids doing it and alternative content creators doing it now. And I'm just kind of like, oh man, it's lame now. I'm so glad I don't do it anymore. It looked cool at the time, but looking back on it, I'm like, yeah, it's not, it's kind of stupid. What is happening? Emo song challenge, but the songs are as disappointing as us. Ooh, self-deprecation. Getting in there before anyone else has the chance to do so. Smart. Is this like if you like it or if you know it? What a shame. So many ruined orgasms in there. Oh, this is Harry Jordan's channel as well. It's like imagine listening to Slipknot. It's like, I push my fingers into my... Yeah?
Oh my god! They're playing My Chemical Romance!
I might be the same age as this kid's dad. 20 years ago, I was 14. I was 14 20 years ago. He looks about 14 there. Nah, this is not fun anymore. Like, it was fun. I kind of got into this with, like, optimism. It's not fun anymore. Stop the ride. I can't use so many of these TikToks, dude, because, like, minors, like, children, have, like, appropriated the early 2000s emo, and I don't want to sit here and knowingly berate someone who's, like, 14. It's so insane to me that emo is happening again. Like, all over again. What is that? There's no, like, elder emos anywhere, because there's no need for them. There's no, like, emo mascots. I mean, other than Johnny Gilbert, I guess, but then Johnny Gilbert, what, like, how old is Johnny? Yeah, Johnny Gilbert's only 27. So, whenever emo was in, like, full swing in the early 2000s to mid-2000s, and even when the Scene Kids came in, like, 2008 to 2012, at the very start of emo, whenever it was really blowing up, when all these, like, the Used were coming on and My Chemical Romance, he would have been 6 years old. So not even Johnny Gilbert's an original emo. He wasn't there. He was not there for it. Like, what was the emo song? There was a few of them, but Helena, right? Helena was kind of like one of the really big emo songs. Yeah, 2004, okay? Again, proving my point here. Helena by My Chemical Romance was one of the quintessential emo tracks, and that came out in 2004. Johnny Gilbert would have been 7 years old. So I was 13. So not even he was one of the original emos. So he's not considered an elder emo either. So it's really weird that the emos that I knew, who are now like mid-30s, like 35, are being replaced by kids who are doing it the exact same way. What is it about emo that has absolutely permeated generations here? It's not like it's being recreated. It feels like it's honestly a real authentic reenactment of the original emo movement. But by authentic, I mean these kids really do feel like they're part of emo. They feel really actually emo, and they're part of the actual culture. Not goths these days that are just trying to impress other goths so that they can be called goths by other goths because they can't be goth until they're called goth by somebody else. Until someone else agrees that they are a goth, they can't be one until that happens, right? But with emo, it feels real. This is really bizarre. What a strange phenomenon. I think emo is probably one of the more interesting subcultures that should be studied, to be quite honest. Stupid horse, I just fell out of the... We also need to talk about how emo has bled into at least 2 other subcultures. One would arguably is not really a subculture, but how emo and scene sort of bled into each other, but there was a big difference between the two. Imagine emo kids, but happy and on drugs. Like uppers. That's a scene kid. Emo was not that, though it was equally as vain. Emo kids and scene kids were vain. Were Blink-182 emo? I know they did that one Miss You song. Oh, I hated Blink-182, so they must have been emo. But they were like sunshiny California pop punk. They're not really emo. Maybe it was the way that he sang, I guess. Why do emos only exist online? That's a take. Accurate? Maybe not. Maybe he needs to go out more. I was walking around town recently and I saw a bunch of alternative people just walking around. I was actually quite surprised. It's unbelievable that alternative subcultures being accepted in public is finally a thing these days, and I'm not a part of it. Definitely never used to be a part of society. You'd have shit thrown at you, you'd have thugs and chavs chasing you, trying to beat you up and stuff like that. Not that I ever ran, but they would, you know, threaten you and hurl abuse at you and throw stuff at you. But that's just British culture. British culture is terrible. I'm sick of this song! Don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore. All I ever wanted is for that song to be deleted. Again, that was more scene kid. Emo is not scene kid. It's not the same. Yes, they had like the brushy over fringe. They weren't the same. But I'm sick of this song. Minecraft hoodie? Leave a comment down below. What was your favorite emo? Like, I wasn't emo. I hated them. You guys know the story that I hate emos. But emos did have some pretty dope clothing. I always wanted this t-shirt. But like, if you wore this t-shirt, that was it. You were painted emo. But I thought this t-shirt was super cool. I'm pretty sure they don't make it anymore. I also had like a really cool like gray Iron Fist hoodie. And the... And the hood used to piss me off. It wasn't until after a couple of weeks of owning it that I realized what it was for. The hood on it only came to like here. It would only cover like the half of your head. And I was like, why won't this hood cover my face? And I realized it was an Iron Fist hoodie. It was for emos. It was to allow your fringe and hair to come out the front like a Kingdom Hearts character. And I was just like, oh, it's an emo hoodie. And I remember hanging out with a bunch of my friends' friends, and she was an emo, and she knew a bunch of other emos. And we were hanging out with this dude, and I was just like, do you want my Iron Fist hoodie? And I just gave it to him. Because I was like, I don't want to wear a emo-ass hoodie.
That's hot. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah, that's hot.
Every style's hot. No, they're not. See, everyone thinks like, oh, goth boys are so hot. When people think goth boys, they think me. They're not thinking the creatures you see limping through the nightclubs. Jesus. Where do these types of people exist now? They have careers and families. The only thing they have left over from this decade, from this era, would be very faint holes in their lip where their lip rings used to be. I'm kind of stuck in this at the moment, guys. Stuck in this late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s nostalgia. At the time, it sucked. But when I think back on it, I'm like, no, there was a couple of great times. You know, it's easy to miss the freedom, the lack of responsibilities you had. And by freedom, I just mean the freedom to express yourself without being judged. You're a teenager. Of course you can wear makeup as a man and wear all this crazy clothing and loiter in front of stores or on the beach or something like that. That was the expectation. These days, people like to use the phrase grown man, grown-ass man as a precursor for something that he should not be doing because of the qualifier that they just used. Grown man dressing like this. Grown man saying stuff like that. Listen, I'm gonna clue you in here on a secret. Grown man, do whatever the fuck he wants, okay? I don't know what this sexist expectation is that grown men are somehow meant to be the mature ones of society that hold everything together while everyone else has a fantastic time. But grown men like to have fun too. So shut the fuck up and stop using that as a precursor, as a setup, as a qualifier for telling someone not to do something. Fuck yourself. You shouldn't get into nostalgia. Seriously, it's really bad. So dabble in it and then leave. But some people get so wrapped up in nostalgia and they're like, I miss when things were the way they were used to be or the way they were. You can't get it back. It'll never come back. You can't recreate it. You can't recapture it. You can simply immerse yourself in media that will allow you to authentically recall memories from those times and then move on when you're done. But to truly re-indulge in that kind of subculture, it's not healthy. Don't be doing stuff like that. But again, my problem with a lot of these emo TikToks is that emo was very, very social. It was the kind of subculture that thrived on being social and being out with each other and having fun and making cute little stupid videos for your MySpace page and stuff like that. It thrived on being in large groups and hanging out and listening to music and that kind of stuff. It wasn't like Goth, which has been underground since the end of the 80s and since then has been bastardized and cosplayed into oblivion to the point where people don't even know what Goth was anymore. We've just watched my Goth video because quite frankly, unlike emo, Goth music from the 80s is terrible. For the most part, it's terrible. It's not a great vibe, like hanging out vibe kind of music to listen to. Look, you can be mad about it and everything and just like, yes it is. It's not. At the time it was relevant and at the time it worked. It doesn't anymore. However, emo music was revolutionary and has obviously permeated generations here. Goth music did not. That hair makes me nervous. You can't move too much. You can't do anything because then the hair's ruined. I always wish I knew what hairspray they used in Final Fantasy games, man. Like, their hair never changes. I was so jealous of that shit. Their hair just does not move. If I had a genie back then, if I had a genie, I'd rub that lamp and I'd be like, dude, every time I wish my hair didn't move. That would have been the stupid, vain wish I would have made. Once I style my hair, I want it to not move. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you want to watch for another 5 minutes, then click join down below and become an official member of the channel. Or follow the link in the description and head over to the Patreon where you will find the extended version of this video, which is already out, by the way, and it's uncensored. But until then, I've been Jake Monroe. I had a great day today because I made it a great day, and I'll catch all of you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.